Morning, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about Moxie websites. Last week, we talked about Moxie Engage, and I like to, if possible, I'm a former classroom teacher. I like to keep it as involved as possible. So if you guys have questions, you go ahead and unmute and you can ask me those questions. You can click the little raise your hand if you'd like. You can also have the chat pulled up here. You can drop questions in the chat. Sometimes it might be a little bit later when I see that. But as we're going through the system, I'm learning the system too. So there might be some questions that we don't know that we'll look up, but I'm really excited about Moxie websites, and I'm glad Angelo just talked about what he's been doing and with Moxie Engage. And the cool thing about Moxie is that all these different products talk to each other. So as you guys are learning about this website and you're building that out, and you start to get leads on your website, people searching for homes on there, those people are then going to populate into your Moxie Engage CRM. Your Moxie Engage CRM is then going to notify you, hey, you have a new lead, you should get in touch with them, you should call them, you should set them up on a campaign. So that is how it all works. And then Moxie Present, which is another one, which is when you get to go do a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, it can create from your Moxie Engage clients, you can create a presentation from the information you already have for them. So it all really does talk well together. And the more that it's a system that they're going to be creating new features as things come along and adding things. So I think it's really great. The website, as you guys all know, I love designing websites, and that's something that I've been doing for over a decade now in various different projects, and developed our Coldwell Banker Elite site. And Moxie websites is based on WordPress, and WordPress is the largest back-end websites in the probably entire world, definitely in the US. And what Moxie has is put their, I guess you could call it a skin, their user interface over top of WordPress so it allows it for the most beginner website design agent all the way up to an advanced agent being able to create your website. And the cool part is they've set it up so that it's harder to break, if that makes sense. So on a WordPress site like our Coldwell Banker Elite one, very often something goes wrong on the back end that I have to go in and troubleshoot and diagnose and see what plugins cause this and that. And that's not something we have to worry about with this site, because they only allow things that they know are going to work for agents, across the country. So we're going to dive in today, and we're going to kind of go through the steps as if you've really never been in here at all, so that you guys have a full understanding of that. In the future, we'll have some more advanced tutorials, and towards the end of the class today, I'll talk about how you can create custom pages and things like that. But I just want to start really from the beginning for those of you that may have not even been able to log in. You log into Coldwell Banker Desk, and that login is login.coldwellbanker.com. Your username is going to be your first name last name at Coldwell Banker. You drop the elite.com. And your password would be whatever you have created. If you do forget that password, you can just reset that password. I will tell you a trick there that everybody runs into. If you have to do the forgot password, when you go to the next screen, you click forgot password, it emails you a new temporary password. And then when you go to the next screen from here, it's going to ask you for your old password. Well, your old password is really the new temporary one that they gave you. That's where people get hung up and gets stuck there. So you just put that temporary one in again, and then you're able to create your new one. But you go ahead and sign in, and that's going to take you to Desk. And this is, again, we're on the Coldwell Banker corporate side. We have all these little tiles here. MoxieWorks might not be right here at the top for you if you haven't been in. You can take these little tiles and drag them all around. So if MoxieWorks was down at the bottom, you can drag it up to the top. I'm a huge fan of bookmarks, so I don't always log into Desk to do it myself. I will create a bookmark for MoxieWorks. But you click on MoxieWorks, and it's going to take you to the main MoxieWorks dashboard. So this is your MoxieWorks dashboard, which gives you little links to Moxie Present, which I was just talking about, your listing presentation, Moxie Engage, which is your CRM, your website, Moxie Impress, which is going to be when you have a listing, single websites, flyers, social media posts, all those types of things. And Promote is a way for you to actually promote yourself or your listings through paid advertising that, through Facebook and different sites on the web. But today you're just going to go into my website. And the one thing you will see as you click on these different tabs and as we play around today, it does create a new tab for you each time. So you can kind of continue to close those out to kind of keep it cleaned up as you're going through, because it'll continue to add more and more. But just when you look at this, this might be a little bit foreign to you if you've never designed a website. It might be a little overwhelming with all the different things. So I kind of just want to give you a quick little tutorial of what you're looking at and what you see here. This is essentially what Moxie calls your admin tool. I like to think of it as like your website dashboard. But across the top here is your admin bar. And when you go to like visit and view your site when you're logged in, like we are now, this admin tool will be across the top. So you'll see that on the different pages as we go. Over here to the left is what's called the admin navigation menu. So this is how you get to any different spot in your website, from changing the appearance, your home page, site pages. Remember that as also your menu. Okay, that's kind of tricky, but that is where you will adjust and design and move around your menu items under site pages. Images, or any images that you upload into the system. We'll just kind of go, we're not going to go through all these, but you'll see this is just essentially the way you can navigate through your entire website. Now, Moxie's done something pretty cool, I think, and they've created this little common task list here. And we're going to go through these today. But if you go through, and you can play along, you know, on your site, having it pulled up and going through these different things, but you probably won't have enough time to like completely finish building those out. But if you go through and do all of these common tasks, your site's going to be essentially ready to go and ready to go live once you go through and finish up here with the bottom section of completing your site activation. So if you forget anything that we talk about today, also this is going to be recorded, so I will have this posted in Elite Scoop and on Facebook for you guys, so that you can go back and pause at a certain section and work through it and then continue moving forward. But again, and to be honest, if you guys test it out, the way you go to look and see what your site looks like, so what you could just log in if you guys have never touched your site before, you go up here to visit site, and this is what your site looks like live today. This is what I've done, fully customized it out, but you can pull yours up to see what yours looks like right now. So out of the box, you have a working website that's ready to go, and then you can build from there. Okay, so this, which I'll show you later, is a custom page and showing you kind of what you can add in, what you can do. But I'm just excited because I'm going to be using this as my website now. It is a fully, built out. It's as good as the site that I've been building out for 5 or 6 years. So pretty cool. And the thing that my site doesn't have that Moxie does is up here is your full, what we call, it's IDX. So you're able to search for homes, meaning your clients are able to search for homes. And when they are searching for homes, I'll just do a quick search here. Mine is pre-filled as Stafford. So when they are searching for homes, again, it's all under your website. So you can still see my menu up here at the top. But if they go in and click on a home, when they're searching for this home, this is not my listing. I don't even know if this is not even a Coldwell Banker Elite listing. But over here to the right, it kind of appears to the client looking that this is my property, or if they have any questions, they can call me, they can email a form, or they can head back over to my website. If they click in here to schedule a showing, that's going to come to me. Anything they do in here is going to be coming back to me as an agent. So it's really cool. I'll talk later. I think you would do it from Engage actually, but if you watch my Engage class, which is on Elite Scoop, you can set your clients up with basically automatic listings that come to them and send them directly to your website. So they're kind of staying in your world, because essentially are we going to be able to keep people off of Zillow and Realtor? No. But you do have the chance, if you catch somebody early on, before they've been doing those searching, that they find your website and that's where they're going to search for homes. And that's really what you want, because guys, as you all know, if they're on Zillow, even if you're their agent, when they click on I need information, they're going to another agent that's a paid agent. And there's always that chance, that, if you haven't signed an agreement, that they could go over to that agent. Not saying that's going to happen, but if you can get them on your site searching, that's really powerful. And it's a way for you to be able to get new clients too. So we'll close out of this here. And the way you go back to your dashboard, and I was showing you here, this is when you see this little bar at the top, that means that you're logged into the website. You can see over here showing that you're logged in. So I could go to the home page, I can go back to appearance, or admin home is kind of going back to your dashboard where you edit things. Okay. Any questions so far on the layout or any of this stuff? Did you have a question, Angelo?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to go right through the common tasks here, and we're going to personalize your site style. So there's a few different options for you in here. What I currently have selected is the custom page. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed with that, because you don't have to do the custom page. There are two great options for you that are just set up and ready to go for you. So we're going to take a look at these two different options here. We have the search focused, and you can click here to view a larger picture of that. And you can very easily switch back and forth so you can see what it looks like live. So I'm going to click on, we're going to switch over to search focused for my site. Up here at the top, you do have the company default, which I recommend. The other one, if you are a Coldwell Banker global luxury agent, you can use that coloring and branding for your site if you'd like, but you cannot use that unless you have that certification. So you can either preview or you can publish. So if we go to preview, that's going to give you, and I like to, actually didn't switch here. So I'm going to take that back and say, we're going to publish it. So now what I'm doing is I'm changing away from my custom page to this search focused page here. So then we go up here to view site. And now you can see this is my website. This is live. If you were to go to my website, it has changed now. And this is a search focused, ready to go site for you that you can update. And I'll show you all the information that you can change in here. I really like the way this looks compared to the second one, but you have some great options that you can include in here. My sold homes, which I think is really cool, especially if you've been an agent for several years. This kind of gives a layout of all the past properties that you have. They can go in and click into these and see all the quality listing images that you had. They get the full, this is all being pulled from Bright MLS. So they're kind of getting a feel for, you know, what your quality of work looks like. If you are a new agent and don't have sold homes, you can change this to the company sold homes, active listings, Coldwell Banker Elite's active listings. You can do whatever, there's a lot of customization you can do with that. You can do something like this I have here, under 400K Stafford, Virginia. So you can be very specific and create custom searches, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Some links to your blog, which you can create blog stuff, useful links that you can add in. You're able to add in a video. I highly recommend to you guys, and I know those of you who've been listening to me for the last 5 years, and me and Angel and Matthew are always talking about you need to have a video bio. And don't stress too much about that. I mean, you guys all have an amazing camera in your pockets. If you have a camera of phone that you purchased within like the last 3, 4, 5 years, it's an awesome video camera. You just need to get a little tripod. I would recommend spending a few bucks, 30 bucks maybe, on a little like lapel mic, a little microphone to give you the good audio. But just say hi, talk for 30 seconds, introducing yourself. You know, you're kind of like, you guys all have written a bio. So if you had nothing else, you could kind of just turn that bio into the way that you speak and say that. Or it could just be a quick like, hey, how you doing? I'm looking forward to meeting you. It doesn't have to be anything overly produced, professional. I mean, I love doing that kind of stuff. So I did do some extra stuff in my video, but it really helps people to get to know you and to understand who you are more than just a photo or words can say. So make sure you guys do that. And then we have this really cool neighborhood news down here. And I'm going to I'll just kind of sidebar to the neighborhood news. Talked about this in Engage. So these kind of link together. But if a client were to click on neighborhood news, what it's going to do, and we'll go to that page here. It's taking them to the neighborhood news section to let them know, well, what the heck is neighborhood news? What is that? We'll let it load here for a second. So it's essentially a once a month email that goes out on your behalf to your clients, giving them on a simplest one, just a zip code, whatever zip code they live in, a market update, what's going on. And it'll you kind of scroll through here. It'll give them homes that have recently sold, active homes. So everybody's kind of the nosy neighbor, right? It's not something that people get offended by. Oh, you're sending me information about how much my neighbor's house sold for. Everybody likes that. And it's only once a month. So you're not like bombarding them with emails. When they fill this out, they then become a client for you in Moxie Engage also when they fill this form out here. What I recommend for you guys is to sign up for neighborhood news yourself to your own personal email, or you can make up a fake name, but use your real email and start seeing what they look like when they're coming to you. And this kind of gives the clients a great idea. And what you can do, you're able to kind of sprinkle in these neighborhood news widgets throughout your website when you start getting into custom pages. So like on each page at the bottom, it could say like a neighborhood news sign up. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit also. So that's neighborhood news. So let's go back to admin home. And what we just chose was the search focused one. And now I'm going to show you guys what the agent focused one looks like. So we're going to publish that. As you guys are working through your pages, and if you haven't designed websites or anything before, if you do changes, you always have to go down and do one of two things. There's going to be a publish button. So publishing means that it's live out on the internet. Or it might say save changes. It does not save automatically. If I close this tab out, all the change, usually it'll give you a warning, but all the changes that I made will be wiped out. Let's see here. Someone said, what do I suggest about a tripod? So to be honest, I would go on to Amazon.com and I have that one. There's like a $30 tripod from Amazon. And if you're going to be using your cell phone, you would need to get what's called a cell phone mount and they're usually like $7. So for like $37, and if you're going to do like a desk mounted tripod, that's what you're planning, like a little small one, that's probably even less than $30. So just go on Amazon, just search tripod, search cell phone mount, and you're set. So, and if you have more questions about that, Deborah, I can answer those for you later. So let's see here. Oh, okay. Switching to agent focused. If you want yourself to be the primary focus, we're going to switch to that and we're going to take a look at that. I think I already published it. So we're going to go back to visit site. So every time I want to see what it looks like. So now you can see here that it has bumped the search bar down and made that smaller and made my photo and my name more prominent towards the top. So you kind of make that decision of which do you want. I like the first one, the search focus, because what does a buyer want when they come to your page? They want to immediately start looking for homes. Okay. But you could have a different opinion on that. And you want to have yourself primary here. And the sidebar to that, I created a custom page. So you can change this to be whatever you guys want. It doesn't have to be one of these two, but when you're getting started, I definitely recommend have these two, use these two to have your page built. Once you learn about custom pages, you can see how easy it is swapping back and forth. Okay. So we'll go back in here. And a question you guys might have is those background pictures that you see in there, how do we add those background pictures? Where did I have to buy them? Where did they come from? So we're going to go into personalizing the homepage. And I'm actually going to switch back real quickly to the search focus one because I like the way that looks better. Publish that. Go back to home. And so home, just so you know, always takes you back to where your common tasks are. So now we're going to personalize the home page. And you can see once you guys get going, you can go here to the home page on the left. There's a lot of ways to get to the same place. But now we're going to make changes to the home page, things that we might want to add. So you can see this photo over here to the right. So how do you change that? Okay. You're going to go to upload or choose an image. And I think it says it right here. If you're bringing in your own image or you're using Canva and you're creating something in Canva, you want it to be 2200 by 1182 pixels. Okay. And a question that came up in the last time I taught this was this little thing right here. The maximum photo size is 10 megabytes. So if you were to bring an image directly from your cell phone or directly from like a nicer camera, it's most likely going to be more than 10 megabytes. So you will need to reduce the size of that. I usually do it in Photoshop. Photoshop is a paid app. Canva is another way of reducing image size. If you just literally Google reducing photo image size, there's probably some different tools and stuff, free tools that you can use in there But the reason why that's the case is you want your images to be as small in size as possible, because the bigger the image is, the slower that your site is going to load. And if someone's sitting there waiting, 2 minutes for your homepage to load up, they're going to move on to the next page. So keep your images. They actually recommend keeping your images under 200 kilobytes is what they recommend as like the maximum size for your image. But these images, so I went over here to image gallery, are already set for you to add in. Okay, so I like this one. This is a good one here. This one, you want to make sure everything about your website, in my opinion, should be as hyper local as possible. So it should fit the area that you work in. Unfortunately, it would be nice, but we don't have palm trees in Virginia or Maryland or DC or anywhere around here. So this front picture here, to me, would not be a good fit. Or like a New York City skyscapes, skyline. Not a great picture for your website here in Virginia. I've seen people doing stuff like that, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but hyper local is best. So these interior shots, you're not going to go wrong with that. So like this one's pretty nice. Let's see here. I like this one here. So let's switch to this really nice outdoor patio. So you scroll all the way down to the bottom. As you can see, there's a bunch of options here. These are all free. These are all included. So we're going to keep scrolling down, and we'll just go all the way down to the bottom here and select for custom area. Now you can see that image is changed here. There's a few things that you need to think about depending on what your image looks like. So your text color, do you want it to be white or black? And your background effect. So over top of this picture, the way I have it is going to darken it. So it's going to put like a little black film over top of the picture. So it's going to make the white text pop out. So we're going to scroll down real quick here, and just so I can show you guys that, we're going to publish it. So you're going to do a lot of this as you're building, publishing it, taking a look at what it looks like, to making sure that you like the way that it looks. So I think this looks pretty good. So you see what I'm saying? That image has this little black, I'm drawing a blank for the right word, but just like a little film over top of it to make the white text pop out here. So I think this looks really good. So I'll go back in here, and we're going to keep that the way it is. You can change. So we're going back into personalizing the homepage. As you scroll down, you can change the words where I have find your dream home. You can change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay, you can put that in there. You can update your name, your title. You can update your photo. Jeffrey and I were talking before the class started, and some items in here you can't change, like your bio, you can't update that. You have to send a quick little email to Marilyn, and she'll get that updated for you. Your social media, you have to send that to Marilyn, she'll update it. The reason for that is that when you update that, it updates it in Moxie Engage, it updates it in Moxie Present. So all across the Moxie tools, those are updated for you. But you can kind of get around that. And this is kind of for Jeffrey too. You can create a custom bio page, which I'll show you that's what my page is. Just very easily, you can add in a new page, and then you put in whatever information you want. You don't have to go from the set page that they have. So you can update all this information here. This would be the first kind of paragraph. And I didn't fill this out completely because this isn't the site, this isn't the homepage that I'm using, but I would say here just a couple sentences about your introduction to them, not your whole bio here, but nothing more than a paragraph, because this is kind of like the first, what you want them to learn about outside of the heading, find your dream home. This is the next thing that they're going to read. So that's what you would put there. This is what I was telling you about your sold homes. So you could change it to featured properties, my office listings. So you can say here, my company's active listings. So you could kind of change this. You don't want to say my sold homes if we're talking about the active listings. So you could say new active listings. You could change that. Okay. We're going to leave this under 400K here or I could change it to, these are different custom searches that I created, which we'll talk about later. But I like this under 400K because it kind of gives people something unique that they're looking at, and maybe they're looking for an affordable price range, and that's tough to find in Stafford. So this gives them some ideas. Your blog module. Blogging is really, really important. I recommend blogging because it's very difficult to get found on the internet, as you guys know, and there's what's called search engine optimization, shortened to SEO. And actually up here at the top, you can see this little Yoast is a plugin that they have where you can do that. And essentially what SEO is ways for Google to be able to find you. And we're not going to dive deep into this right now, but I'm just giving you a quick tip on a way for you to be found on the internet is to start creating blogs and to start creating hyper local blogs. So whatever area that you work in, I'll use Suzanne as an example, and she works out in Locust Grove and Lake of the Woods. So she could start a Lake of the Woods blog, different events that are going on in Lake of the Woods, things that are going on, events that she's gone to. I know she doesn't live in Lake of the Woods, but she lives near there. And then when someone searches Lake of the Woods events, she has a very high percentage chance for her blog post to come up in Lake of the Woods events because she's now created 10 different events about Lake of the Woods. When someone clicks on that, they land on Suzanne's page. They start to think of her as an expert in Lake of the Woods, or at least somebody that knows about that neighborhood. You can do that kind of stuff for all the different neighborhoods that you want to work. It's kind of like if you've been in the business for a while, there's what's called farming, and that's working in a particular neighborhood. So it's a digital form of farming, but I highly recommend doing the blogs. And I kind of jump around, but I just want to show you over here to the left is your blog posts. And all you have to do to create a new blog post, so you just go to blog post, add new, and it's actually gonna cancel. So remember, it brought up that warning because I did not publish this. So I'm going down here to publish. So just save our changes. Blog post, add new. And then you would just put your blog post title. You would put, I usually recommend typing your blog post in like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, something outside of here so you have it saved. Copy and paste that in. You can create categories for your blogs, which is important to do. And then you put a featured image in, which is like your main cover image, which is very important for the blog. And then you publish it and you're set. And when you go to visit site, you would then have a blog section like I do. You click on my blog. And then you would have your header image and whatever your title, your blog, and everything in there. So like I have one on why I love Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I just literally just took pictures of different restaurants and parks and wineries that I go to with my family and just wrote a quick little blog on it. So this one over here, like first day at Chancellorsville Battlefield hike. So I actually did a video with my daughters just kind of riding their bikes through the battlefield. So when someone might search like Chancellorsville Battlefield hike, this has a chance of populating for those searches. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm not saying you're definitely going to be on the first page, but it is your best, easiest, most inexpensive way to get found is by doing hyper-local blogging. Any questions on that at all? I know it kind of veered off, but that's such an important part of websites, and I wanted to kind of touch on that. You guys are so quiet, no questions.
I do. You found, yeah, let me just. You found doing the blog increased your business and
well, so I will speak.
networking?
I can speak on. You said more than networking,
and more. I'm trying to think how to put it. It expanded your networking.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it's more than in-person networking, but yes, you start to expand your network. And I will speak to this one on several of you heard my classes. This Why I Love Fredericksburg, Virginia, that blog by itself got me a listing in downtown Fredericksburg that I sold and got the full commission off of that strictly from that blog, because that blog got picked up by the Fredericksburg Economic Development, who sent it out to their email list. And I had a guy call me. He literally said to me, he's like, I was like, how'd you hear about it? He's like, oh, I read somewhere online that you love Fredericksburg and I thought I'd give you a chance. And then I kind of, after I met him, I dug a little further and he read that blog. And so I'm not saying every blog that's going to happen, but I don't even do enough blogging to be able to do that. But the little ones that I've done have been definitely impactful. And there's just not enough agents out there doing it. So that means there's space for us locally to do that. It's very difficult for you to compete with like homes in 22407, homes in Stafford, because there's just people paying tons of money for that space. Whereas this kind of stuff, works. But it doesn't have to be, it could be about something that what's going to work for you is about something that you love. Okay. Something that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be real estate hardcore specific. It could be about pets, but you kind of turn it into real estate, or, I'm taking my pet to this location, like I kind of do it with my family, and just stuff that we do while I'm there, I document it. I just take pictures, generally speaking, and then you can just use a couple pictures and write a couple paragraphs, and don't stress about being perfect. I'm not an author. I write the way that I talk, which comes across, I think easy to read, but what will make you successful is if you're consistent with it and you're doing it over and over and over again. Once a month is a good start. 12 blogs for the year. The more you could do, you're trying to build that readership that's expecting to find Deborah and whatever it is that you're talking about. So
something like that would probably be better than, like where I live in Manassas, there's a lot of real estate agencies around here, and everyone's always sending out those little cards with recipes. So something like this would probably be better, and
yes,
would allow a broader network to come in then, right?
So when it comes to marketing, and I won't go too far down that right now, just to stay on, but like you want a little bit of everything. Okay. It's called top of mind awareness. So like, oh, I got your card in the mail. Wait, I read a blog from Deborah. Oh yeah, I saw this. She had that really cool Facebook post. And then they don't know.
Ties in together.
And they don't even know where they heard about you. They can't say to you like, oh, they just, you know what I mean? Like I've been hearing your name. That's kind of the idea. So I don't want to say like one, just do this, but a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Makes sense?
That makes sense. Thank you.
No problem. Lisa, you have a question? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Go ahead.
that's
No,
Lisa.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can we take a blog like that's already out there from Coldwell Banker Elite blog or Coldwell Banker blog and put that on our blogs?
Great question.
Start off.
Yeah, great question. I have shared that, and I'll have to, if you guys if someone sends me an email later, remind me, I did do a video on how you do that. So all of our Coldwell Banker Elite blogs, you guys can take those blogs, copy it, paste it in here, use the image in there. You do have to put at the top, and that's where my video shows, this blog was from coldwellbankerelite.com, and you have to link back to coldwellbankerelite.com, essentially giving our company page credit for that. And you kind of covered yourself for basically saying it's not your blog that you wrote, but you can use all those. And we put out a blog per week for you guys. So that's a great question. And I hope that all of you do that. So take those. That's the first time you do it, maybe a 20-30 minute process. And then after that, it could be like every week, like a 5-minute process to be able to get those in there. So great question. Did somebody else have a question at the same time?
Oh, so that's a great way to start.
Yeah.
That's an awesome way to start. Yeah.
Jay, it was Robin, and that was my exact question. So
perfect. Yeah. So, and Robin, share that, with your agents and Suzanne. I have shared that and put that out there. If somebody will remind me, I'll do another post on that again. But it's a very simple way to do that. And I've talked with Angel and Matthew, and that's been approved for everybody to be able to do that. So yeah, great questions.
Jay?
Yes.
Yeah, mail in there. Can you have more than one blog, or do you have one blog and then you can put, there was something in there about categories. Can you like have a menu of areas of blogs?
Yep. So if we go here I'm gonna go back to the site and see how it lays out. You want to have one blog, meaning you want to have like this being your blog so that everything's kind of coming back to your website. And because from here, they can go back, and if I put up here a search homes button, then they can search homes from your blog, or they can go back and take a look at different things here. So here's my blog homepage, and then it has categories. So all my different categories are labeled right here. So if someone's like, oh, I like hiking, let me see what Jay has here. I don't think I have a lot. I think it's that one blog that I was telling you guys, but then they could be like, oh, I haven't been the first day at Chancellorsville. And then they can go back here and say, well, yeah, what's good to eat in Fredericksburg? And then they can see different posts that I have on different restaurants in Fredericksburg.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that answers that question. Thank you.
Great, no problem. Good questions, guys. So let me go. I think that's pretty much all personalizing the page, and just going back here to the home page, you can see now This is like your intro paragraph here. Now it changed to new active listings for your agents, that you guys that don't have listings that you've closed. You can change that like I showed you. We still have the under 400K here. Remember, your blog links are here. So that's really your main homepage that's ready to go for you guys. Any homepage questions? We're going to move on from the homepage. Okay. Some of you'll notice when you go in, your default search area that pops up is not an area that you want it to be. So this is how you change your search area. So we're going to go in here. And this looks very scary. People are like, oh my gosh, what is that? How do I do that? Okay, so I'm going to show you it's not that hard. The way you figure out, there's several times when you're creating a custom search or things like that, you're going to go to your site. So we're going to go live to the site. And we're going to create a search. So let's say, well, let's go here. We're going to go 22401, and we're going to see what we have here. So over here this is everything that's showing right now in 22401 active listings. And this shows you a map over here of what is included. Okay. So you can do several things for this, and this is kind of the same process for creating custom searches. So we could do a radius. We could click here and then just bring this out and say, we're going to go up here to run the search. And now we've jumped up to 163 listings that are available and shows everything in here. We can go in and draw out, we can do a quick draw or quick draw is just like really just whatever you want. Freehand, I guess is the easiest way to say it. Okay, so now we have that. Or we could do a multi-draw, which I'm used to doing like an MLS. You can kind of get specific with that, like this. Okay, so let's say, okay, this is pretty good. We like this as our main search area. So up here at the top, that big, huge thing you guys just saw that looks scary is what we have up here at the top. And the key, which it explains on that page, I'll go back to it, is that it wants everything from the word search over, okay? So what I like, it's easiest for me just to highlight the whole thing. I do either Command C on a Mac or Control C, or you can just right click and copy. And we're going to go back, where are we at here? Go back here. And it says it all in here. So if you forget, the path must begin with search /. So I'm going to paste in here that whole big thing. It's huge. And now you can see here, my website name, fredericksburgnow.com, is there in the beginning, and it doesn't want that. It needs to have the word search first. So I just highlighted that and deleted it. And then you have it set and you would save it. This search that we just did is now my main starting off search area for when people land on it. Okay. So if you didn't, that's something you might just want to practice and watch later on, but that's how you do that. And this is also how you'll create custom searches. Let me see where that tab is, because that'll be a easy segue to custom searches. Yep, so that's the same. Okay, so we're going to create a custom search link. So you see I've created a few: downtown Fredericksburg homes for sale, 22401, 407. So let's say, let's get specific here. Actually, I think let's do downtown Fredericksburg under 500K. I don't know if we'll find any. We might have to change it, but let's try that. So we're going to save. And we're going to go back to customs. We're going to go down here to custom search. Oh, maybe I did it backwards here. We're going to go add new search. Okay, sorry. Custom search, add new search. Downtown Fredericksburg. Can't type. Under 500K. So remember, this is the same kind of thing before. We got to go find that search. We're going to go back to property search. And I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Actually, let's see what downtown Fredericksburg comes up as an option for us. All right, so we're going to say downtown Fredericksburg. And now we're going to go over here to our price point. And we're going to leave the minimum at 0. We're going to do a max of 500 and see if we get anything. Okay, so we have 8 listings right now in downtown Fredericksburg that are under 500. Okay, so this is a great idea for you guys to create this search like I just did. And this is a kind of Facebook post for you. Okay, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, Twitter, wherever you guys are using. And you're like, hey, did you know you can get a home for under 500K in downtown Fredericksburg? Question mark. Check out the active listings right now. It's not like, I guess it is a little bit of bait, but there's literally houses that they can get right now that are available there. That gets them to your website so that when they start searching, they're like, oh, well, this isn't enough. Let me expand my search. Then they are going to be getting logged into your site, and any information, any houses that they like, they're interested in, they get connected back to you. But remember, so we highlight the whole URL at the top, we copy it, we go back to the add new, we're going to paste it in, we're going to go up here, and we're going to delete back. So search is the first word. And then we're going to save it. And now we have that as one of our custom searches here. We can do several things with that. We can make a page for it. We can use that link. One thing that I was, with the last class that I did, that you obviously don't want to paste this whole entire link in here. You can go in, if you guys have never done this before, there's what's called a short link, a short URL. So you can create, let's see here. We go into bit.ly. Okay, so that's bit.ly. And we're going to, you have to create a free account, and we're going to go over here to create, and we're going to drop that long URL, a huge thing right here. Let's close this out and create it. And now we have a short link right here, up here in the top, that you can copy it, and you could paste that into Facebook. So you could use that link in there instead of that really long one. It's free. You can pay for a paid bit.ly account, but you don't need to do that. The only reason you do that is if you're trying to track who landed on those links, but that way you could use that link on your Facebook post, so it's not that crazy long link. For my Facebook experts in here, I think you can also go in and just, you paste that link, you get it all set up, and then you can delete out that big, huge, long link, and then Facebook will do that. But just a tip for you guys with that. So a little bit off what we were talking about. But any questions on that? I know I talked about that fast.
Can you change that link name to something more English looking?
So you can probably with the paid account. I think when
Okay.
you get into the bit.ly paid, then you're allowed to like kind of do different things with that. So that's a good question. And it might be, if you're doing that regularly, I like that idea. You kind of have to weigh things out like, okay, is it, I don't know what the cost is, but $8 a month, is it worth it? And if you're doing 3 Facebook posts a week and you're doing the bit.ly, then yes, in my opinion, it's worth it. But if you're just spending that money for one time,
Yeah.
Probably not, but good question.
Thanks.
No problem. And actually, Art, to follow that up, I would say the only value to that would be if you were starting to, like if you were just doing it for Facebook, I don't know that it matters too much because they're just clicking on the link. But if you were starting to put this on printed material, like bit.ly.com/ down, Fredericksburg under 500K, you could like make it exactly what it was. Then that would be worth it, I think, if you're starting to like put it out in different places. So good question. All right, let's head back into here. So that was custom search area, custom search links, and we can create custom menu links. So we're going to go here. So a custom menu link would be, it could be a lot of different things. It could be the links we were just, your custom search links. It could be you make a drop down that says, my favorite places in Fredericksburg, my favorite places in King George. And then you have a menu drop down of like different places that they can go, restaurants they could eat at, all those different types of things. So one that I think of, let's say that, you want to talk about the different school systems in the area, like what school systems are around. So we can create a link for Stafford County schools. And if we go here, we're just going to find Stafford County schools. I'm going to go to their page, and what I'm doing is copying their link to their homepage. So if people are looking for information on the schools, remember, we can't tell them what our opinion of the schools are, but we can be the source of the source and say, hey, this is where you would go to find out information about Stafford County. So I'm copying that. I'm going back here. I'm going to put in the URL. This is a very important part about creating an outside menu link. Remember, we want people to stay, generally speaking, on your website. You want them searching for homes, reading your blog posts. When they do this, they are leaving your site. So it's important that you say, open this link in a new browser window, because you can see it's going to open up a new tab, that your website tab is still over there to the left. If you don't do that, then they're going to leave your website completely, go to Stafford Schools, and then no longer be able to find your page again. Okay, so make sure you click on that, open the link in a new browser. We save that. And now I think it's actually, so that's, you can do, if you guys kind of get the idea of that, you can just be, the internet is completely open to you, whatever you think is valuable places to send your clients. And again, I think that it makes most sense giving them local information, sites around the area. It could be like a things to do menu item drop down. Okay, so I'll show you how that works here. If we go to site pages, this is your menu structure. Okay, how things are laid out. It created this new home page here for me when I go back and forth from the custom page to this. So I want to like hide that page. So you see where it says hide or show. So if you don't want a menu item to be visible, and I'll go back up here and show you what I mean by the menu items. So this is what we're editing right now, guys. These menu items across the top here. And you can see as we've been creating these things, it's made my menu much longer. So we want to clean it up some, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But we added in that Stafford County Schools link. Now that's a menu item for the clients to go to. The downtown Fredericksburg under 500K, that's now a menu item. But that doesn't look good. I don't want it. I want that to be like tucked under some of these other areas. So I'm going to show you how to restructure those. So we're going to go back here to site pages. And it's pretty easy to do. All these little things right here, you just grab it and drop it and move it around. And that's how you change them. So we could take the downtown Fredericksburg under 500K and drag that up here under buying and selling. And we drop it right here. I'm going to go down and publish. And you guys just saw that huge menu item that was over here to the right. It's now gone. Okay, so you don't see that anymore. It was really bulky. You wouldn't want that in your main menu. But under buying and selling, there's the downtown Fredericksburg under 500K. And then I have a properties one, so that's probably more appropriate for it to be. So you could just shuffle it over to there. Okay. Any questions on that? This is very important. You want your menu to be as minimal as possible with having the drop downs for people to go in here. And you can actually have it so it drops out another section too if one of these had different things going along with it. So let's go back in here. We can clean it up a little bit more. I can take this global luxury tab that I have here, and I can move that underneath of buying and selling also. So we'll take that there. Stafford County Schools. Let me see here. I wanted to show you how you would create we want to add a new page. We want to add a custom link. Let's see here. Let me show you guys this real quick here. So we're going to go back to home, and we want to create a custom menu link, and we're going to call this local schools. Okay. We're going to leave the link. We're going to leave this alone. I'm going to test this here, see what it does here. We're not going to put a link in here because what I'm doing is just creating a menu header. Okay, so you can create different headers. We're going to save that. And that's what I thought I was going to do. It's going to put a little hashtag in here. So we're going to leave that alone. Now I'm going to go back to site pages, and we should have a new one down here called local schools. So I'm going to put this, scrolling this one to the top here. Right next to, do it next to that. And then I'm going to take the Stafford County Schools one, and I'm going to drag that right underneath local schools. So local schools, that doesn't click, it doesn't do anything because we just left it blank, but it's going to be our menu header. So I'm going to go and publish that. We're going to go visit the site. And now we have all our different items here. And now we have a new one called local schools, and we have Stafford County Schools here. Okay. So now if that's something that you want to do, but this could be things to do. And then you have a drop down of all the events and things in your area. So I just want to show you guys how you can kind of move the menu around. It's very simple to adjust all these things. It's also the place you go to be able to edit any of these pages, to make any changes to your pages. So site pages is a very important place, and it's a place you'll spend a lot of time because it's not only your menu, but it is where you would create a new page, or you would change your pages around. Any questions on the menu or anything else at this point? Okay. So let's go back to home and see what's next on our list. So we organize the site navigation, manage your property lists. So property lists, we did talk about that. So these are, we haven't showed you yet, but your active listings, your sold listings, featured properties, my office listings, and you can create a new list, and it gives you all these different things that you might want to have included. So it could be, let's say you want to focus on open houses, and you could have that on your page, my office's open houses, and you can go in here and even exclude homes that are under contract so that you don't have those on there, but you can create that. There's just different things that you can add in. You can add in a specific property by adding one property license. I'm sorry, adding an MLS number in there. So just different things that you can do with property lists. Going back in here. So you saw my excitement level about blogs and how important blogs are. I don't know if it's tied or it's close, but a very, very important part about your website, in my opinion, and about your all's digital online presence altogether is your testimonials. Testimonials are extremely important. And I just always like to use the example of, think about when a friend of yours gives you guys a recommendation for a restaurant. What's the first thing that you're going to do? Most people, they're going to go to Google and they're going to Google that restaurant. Even though Robin told me she loves that restaurant, it's great, I want to see what other people have to say about it. I'm looking at their reviews. I'm looking at their star ratings. And we're talking about something as simple as, $50 to $100 for a night going out, that you're actually going and doing the research about that restaurant. And my wife and I, if it's a restaurant that's under 4 stars now, we start to question, like, I wonder why. Then you're going to dig a little bit further, and we might still go because we trust Robin. We might give it a chance, but we're still doing the research on it. So think about when people are selecting a real estate agent, someone they're going to spend the next 3 to 6 months with, we build very intimate relationships, right? Like we get to know our clients and we're there, with them, knowing about their families, their finances. They're doing the research, guys. So you want to have your testimonials out there. We have a great product coming out very soon called Testimonial Tree. It's going to help you guys to get even more testimonials. Those of you who have been with us, we've had real satisfied where you're getting great reviews, but you have to be able to get those reviews out there and to share them. So it makes it very easy in here. I'm going to show you guys what I did and what you can do, but you just click on add testimonials. You put in a little header. So it could be the Smith family's experience could be your header. And then you put in the content about what they have in here. And if you have one testimonial, put the one testimonial on here and get started. You get another testimonial, you add it in. I had an agent one time that got their first testimonial, it was their first closing, and he was very hesitant and did not want to put that testimonial out there. It was a great testimonial. In the testimonial, they said, such and such did such a great job. It was his first time selling a house. I would have never known it. He was amazing. And so I said to him, I understand that you don't want other people to think that you're brand new and you just started. But if you don't put this testimonial out there, people who find you are going to wonder, has he sold any houses? Does it, at least in this case, it was a great review and they said you did wonderful things. So you just start posting them one by one. And the reason why I say that is they start to build up over time. It's a slow build, but you want to get those out there. And then you'll see they just populate down here like this. Okay. And then when you add one in, you would publish it. And I do recommend, if possible, that you add a photo in there too, either of the clients, of the house, whatever it is. And I'll show you an example of what I've done here. When we go back to visit the site, and I have a tab here that says Meet Jay. So I have my story, contact me, and then testimonials. So click on testimonials. And these little images that I put in, I created in Canva. So I know you guys are familiar with Canva Pro. So I recommend, if you guys haven't looked into Canva Pro, you don't have to have Canva Pro to do this, but that is the account where you get all our company colors and you get templates and things for you to use in there. And I just created 2 templates, a gray one and a blue one. And I just alternated as I went through, and just takes a few seconds to do that. You don't have to do the image. And I'll show you down here an example of one without an image. So if you don't use an image at all, it looks just like this, which is great, a great way to start. Don't not put your testimonials out because you don't have photos of them. Get your testimonials on here in one way or another, and have them, going through here. With Testimonial Tree, you will have a widget that you're going to be able to put in here that's going to have all of them already populated for you, that you don't have to go in and copy and paste and do all that. So that's going to be, I don't have an exact, I mean, we're rolling it out, but it's not official yet, but that's coming soon. But it's just that important, guys. I mean, when people go through, when someone, refers me to somebody else and they go to my site, I want them to be able to find out what past clients have said, what other people who are not their friends, who are not my friends, say about their experience with me. And you guys have your clients raving about you. You guys all have great testimonials that have been doing it. And a lot of people just don't share them. So definitely on your website, you want to have your testimonials on there. Any questions about that at all? Okay. All right, let's go back here. Adding your social media links. Like I said, I don't think it lets you edit them in here. You need to send these for your social media links to Marilyn, and she'll update those for you guys. And she's pretty, as you guys know, she's pretty quick with getting that done. I know it's kind of an annoying step, but the reason why they do that is that way then it sends them to all the different Moxie sites at the same time. Okay. And I haven't done this, but someone had pointed out before, you can link your Zillow reviews. If you already have Zillow reviews, you can link those up in here. I only have a couple and I haven't done those steps yet, but some of you guys are really big on Zillow and have a lot of reviews on there. So go ahead and link that up, and then you'll be able to connect those right into your testimonial page too. All right, so let's see here. We talked about the blog already, so we skipped to that. Your SSL certificate is very important. We're going to so what we've gone through, if you guys go through all the steps that we just went over and you customize all that out, you have a site that's ready to be published. It might not be perfect. A website is something that you need to be continually checking in on, adding blogs to, doing things to it all the time, because when Google finds let's say a dead page, it starts to go further and further down in SEO. Okay, this page isn't active. They're not adding new things to it. So your website is a place that you should be. And if you're adding blogs to it, that is checking that box. Like, this page is getting updated. Okay, so we're doing that. So a blog is an easy way for that updating. So there's a couple things that you want to do. Your SSL certificate is something that actually is usually somewhere between $100 to $200+ a year to have an SSL certificate that there's no cost to you, is included in this site, but you do have to activate it. So you simply go in here, and it probably won't show it on mine because I've already activated it. It'll say, like right here, set up your site SSL. Now, before I recommend doing this, I recommend, let's talk quickly about your vanity URL. So that is right here at step 2. So we're going to go here. And all of your all's current URLs for your website are your first name, last name, -elite.sites.cbmoxie.com. My opinion on that is, if it's not something you really want to put on your business card, it's not something you want to put on your email profile. It's just really big. It's definitely not something like I can't say to Lisa, hey, go to jparish-elite, dash like a little line like this, period, site. You can't say that over the phone. You can't tell that to somebody. So you really want to go ahead and most of you guys do already have this. You want to get a URL, and you'd be surprised, as it's hard to find some, but you'd be surprised what's still available. I just purchased fredericksburgnow.com about a month ago. It was still available. It was no extra cost for it. I was surprised that something like that was still available. So using something that people can say easily, spell easily, although Fredericksburg is not that easy to spell, but for most people locally, they know how to do that. But you want to have a custom URL. There's a couple ways for you guys to do that. You can go right in here in Moxie and purchase your URL through their setup, making it very simple. It just takes you into their, it's kind of like underneath their GoDaddy account. You could also go to GoDaddy.com and buy your URL. You can go to, there's various other places on the internet where you can buy URLs. It costs typically, just so you know, you're not spending too much, about $18 per year for you to have the URL. Okay, so, and it's like a lease. You have to keep paying it for as long as you want to keep that name. But if your name was available, that like I own jparish.com, and then you could, forward that to whatever. So I think it's very reasonably priced. Where websites get to be expensive is when you're hosting the websites. So we have this included. Moxie is the host, so we don't have to pay any monthly fees as agents for that. So you get your domain, and then you go to oh, they just changed this here. Okay. Oh no, this is mine. Let's see. Go back here. When you go to set up your vanity domain, there's going to be, let's see where the second step is. You're going to have another step that's going to have you fill out this information. They may have changed it before. It was a form, but you would just go in here and put in the URL that you wanted to go to. And then it's going to give you the steps on how to update your DNS records. You go to GoDaddy, wherever you purchased it from, and they'll take you through those steps to get it. Essentially, they're pointing your website to MoxieWorks. It's kind of confusing, but they'll take you through those steps, and it's pretty easy with them to do that. It takes about a day or two for that to happen. Did I lose anybody there? Any questions on that? So I think it's a big key if you're going to use this as your website, that you do get your own URL. Okay. So let's go back to home.
All this is going to be recorded to review again?
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
it's recorded. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that way you can pause and work on each step as it is.
Thank you.
No problem. I will email it out to everybody, and then it'll be on elitescoop.com when you go to the Moxie Works tab, and then Moxie websites. It'll be in there too. Good question though.
Jay, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Once we've done that URL and GoDaddy and domain, is that where the Zap would no longer exist at that point once it's connected to Moxie?
So Zap is in its process. I think they said they're hoping for by the end of the year that Zap will be turned off or whatever. So, but if your URL right now that you have points, you probably have your URL. I think it's just forwarded. I think that's what happens with the Zap sites. So Lisa, are you through GoDaddy?
Yes.
Okay. So in GoDaddy, my guess is it's been a while since I did that with Zap, that you just have a forward on it. So like when someone clicks on, let's just say lisablow.com, it forwards to the Zap site. And then at the top, it doesn't show your URL anymore. So what you'll actually be doing is going in and changing what's called the DNS server, and it'll point to those. It'll give you two little things you got to copy and paste in. And then now when you go to your site, it'll say at the top, like I'll give you, when you go to mine, at the top, it doesn't have that J Parish Moxie anymore. It just says fredericksburgnow.com. So it's actually a lot more official looking than the Zap was before. Your Zap site will still be there though, to answer that. It's not going to go away until that's all turned off, and they're taking that really slow because we're still one of the early companies to be adopting. So does that answer that?
Well, but when somebody puts in, say, Lisa Blow realtor.com, they're going to get to the Moxie first though, right? Not
exactly. That'll no longer push. Well, it'll no longer take them to the Zap site. Once
Okay.
you would just need to go in there and make sure, in addition to the change in the DNS that you're forwarding, you delete that. Like it shouldn't be forwarded anywhere anymore. Because right now I'm guessing that it probably has your Zap URL forwarded. So you just
Okay.
delete that out, that'll stay blank, and then the DNS things will point to it.
Okay. Thank you.
No
Okay.
problem. Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jane and I have a couple of domains, a pointer, and we have their pointer accounts. They just point over to Zap or they point over to Moxie, wherever. I'm paying $30-something a year for each, but I get a free because I've got a website up there being hosted too. The main thing is with the ones I'm getting from Network Solutions is who I'm doing it with. My domain names also get an email account for that fee. So, so it's just like a side email account. If you want to have a personal email like we have for some reason, you don't want them, you don't want somebody to go to Coldwell Banker to find you.
Okay.
If you're not talking, you're talking to your daughter, here's my email account, send me that.
Right.
So it's honestly, it's what you pay for, what you get, but it's either way. I can call the tech support there and tell them I want to change my pointer account, which I did. I just said, it used to be here. I want to go to Moxie now, and they did it. Done.
Yeah. So so it shouldn't be, you don't want to do it. I'm not sure what you're like the pointer. You want to actually change the DNS. I would recommend, because you don't want it to forward to it. You want to actually change your URL to that would be my recommendation, because then it's like a solid site. This is where it's at. The other ones could then point to this one, but you want this, in my opinion, you want this to say, mailandtrends.com.
Well, they do that when
Okay.
when you go there. If my mailandtrends.com comes to Moxie now. So when you get Moxie, you see Moxie, you see the website up there. You see mailandtrends.com up there.
Okay, perfect. Then you did it right. As long as it says your name at the top here, then I wouldn't call that a pointer one. That is actually your site. A pointer one would be like, I don't know, another one you have that is doing what Lisa was talking about and is forwarding to Mail and Trends. But I think you got it. Sounds like you have it right there.
Yeah, they changed the DNSs. I know that.
Okay, good. That's perfect. Perfect. So last couple steps for officially being set up. Then once you have that URL all set up, you would go here to the Ssl certificate and you would just click right here, activate SSL. It can take up to 3 days for that to happen, but that is like the little lock you see in the top. That's what makes that lock happen. If you don't do the SSL, it's going to say when people go there that your site is unsecure. Do you want to go back? Don't go to this site. So the SSL is huge, and I would say you basically have to do it, and it's no additional cost, and it's a really nice bonus because I've been paying like upwards of $200 for an SSL. They're very expensive. So
they do that. They're expensive. Yeah.
So we have done that. Then, and the order of these last few things doesn't matter which order you do them in. I would do that domain and get that set up. But the last thing, you want to make sure your site is visible to search engines. Okay, so right now, as you guys are all in your site, they're not sending it out to Google, they're not sending it out to Bing or Yahoo. None of those places are actually finding your site until you do this. So you go here, and on all of your sites, if you haven't done this step, this box is checked. Discourage search engines from indexing this site. Okay, so you want to uncheck that box and save the changes for it. Then the site will start to be found on other sites. I'm going to create a video on this later, but the next thing you'd want to do kind of outside of this, and we don't have time today to go through it, you want to go to Google Search Console and add your website through Google Search Console. That will help for your site to be found on Google, because they will start to then track that. So if you guys want to jot that down, Google Search Console, and you just submit your site to that. You can also go in here under SEO Search Console, and let's see here, settings. And when you go to settings, it's going to say authenticate with Google. You would click authenticate with Google, and it's going to have you sign into your Google account and those steps. So you want to do that step also. Okay. very important. If you don't do those steps right there, your site will not be found when people search on Google. So, and the reason they do that is, you know, like when people are building out their sites, they don't want everybody to see it while you're in the in-between. So that's why it's discouraged from going to the search engines on there. Any questions right now? What I'm going to do at the end here is dive into some custom pages for you guys, kind of giving you an overview of that, but I want to see if there's any other questions before we do that. Okay. All right. So if you're already overwhelmed, don't stress too much. I think you guys can all go through these steps, but the custom pages is where it really gets, to me, really exciting, where you can really do anything and everything you would want with your site. So how we do that is we go to site pages. We've been there before. This is kind of where our menu's at. You can click add new right there, or you can go in here and you hit add new. And then it gives you a variety of different pages you can create. So all these we've already done today, but we're going to go to custom page and we're going to hit submit. And again, this is not a mandatory. You don't have to do this. Your site will be fine without doing this at all. But this is where it gets to be, you can be really creative and you can do anything from scratch with your website. So the first thing you'd want to do is name your page. So we can name it, I'm just going to name this, I don't know, buying a home. Okay. I'm just going to call it test, just so I know that's a test. Then you want to go to the builder right here. So we're going to click on builder because all this looks really foreign right now. Like, what do you do when you go to the builder? If anybody's worked on a drag and drop website like Wix or Squarespace, that's kind of what we have going on here. Okay, so right now this is a blank page that you can do anything with. All these little things over here are what's called modules, sometimes might be referred to as like widgets, but you can go through here and look at the different things, and you can just essentially take one, like let's go ahead and just do text. And you just take it and you drag it over here. And then we could just type in hello buyer, just randomly. And we want to make this, let's say, oops, format. We want to make it bold. Oh, I'm sorry, highlight this guy, make it bold. Go in here and, oh, I was trying to, oh, where are they looking for it? There we go. Make it a header and we could center it. So you go down here and go to save, and now we have that in here. And I'm just really quickly showing you something, you know, you can take a button, drop a button in here and say, get started. And then you could choose where you wanted to link them to. So let's say I wanted to link to this page. You want to find your link first, but we're going to copy it. Whoops. That's not the link. So what I'm doing is copying the link from my contact me page. So we're going to copy that. And now we save it. Now we have a button. And what's wrong with this button? It's, you know, it's not centered. So I'm going to edit that. And now we have essentially a header. You can go in and add images. You can do anything that you want in here. Now, you might be saying, well, gosh, I'm not gonna be able to make it look good. This is where the cool part comes in. So we're gonna go up here to get into the plus sign. And we're gonna go over here to templates. So these are templates that have been created for you. The ones we're looking at right now are created by MoxieWorks. So you can just kind of scroll through here and say, oh, okay. It's hard to see when you're looking over here. So you can just click on it. And then it says, what would you like to do? Replace existing layouts. That's going to delete out our hello buyer and the button, or we can append to the new layouts. That's going to make it go below that. But since we were just making that stuff up, I'm going to click replace it, go to OK. And now we have an entire page created. This is an actual search bar in here. My picture came in here included, you know, all this stuff's in here, and say, okay, well, that's not what I was thinking it was. So let's go ahead and find a different one. Click on this one. So you can just easily just kind of pop in and out templates as we're building this out. Okay, I'm liking the way this looks a little bit better. And you can still go in and let's say, well, we want to add a button here. So this page is all just completely customizable. So we can take this and drop a button right in here. And we'll just leave it as this for now. So we have a new button added in here. So you can do whatever you want with that. So I think that's really cool that you can start off with templates. There's different kinds of templates. Those are all the Moxie Work ones. They have landing pages. So these are not like real estate specific, but might be like the exact kind of layout that you're looking for, that you then go in and put in real estate words, put in real estate photos, things like that. And my favorite section of templates, so you also have content pages, so you can just scroll through here and, you know, very easily, these are very like modern looking website layouts. Okay, not real estate, but then you can go in and just kind of change the photos, you know, by removing this. You can really edit everything. But we also have Coldwell Banker branded templates. So you go down here to brand templates. And this is really cool because it's already like set. So what do we call this page? Buying a home. So we have a buying a home template from Coldwell Banker. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. We're going to replace everything. And we have that all set, just laid out here, a great buying a home process in here. What I think is missing from this page would be a home search bar, because if they're landing on your buying a home page, you want them to be able to search for a home. So I like this being more in one column. So I'm going to delete this. So now we have one column. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to modules, and I'm going to drop down, and they're what's called widgets here. And there's a bunch of mortgage rates module, links module. There's all kinds of blog, subscription, property search is what I'm looking for right now. Just take this, drag it right here, and you get to pick. There's several different types of property searches here. So we're going to go to, let's go to layout number 2, save it. And now we have a buying a home page with all the language that Coldwell Banker put in there. You can change and edit it. Like one thing I kind of recommend, for example, like this is, you know, as a male, this is a female real estate agent shown in the picture here, or it's definitely not me. You might want to update some of these pictures so they're either local homes or just, you know, you're not advertising. Like obviously they're not going to be you, these images that are in here. So I would go in and update the images. You can leave the words as it is, or you can change them. Very simple to change the text. You just click on it and you can change exactly whatever you like. I'm a home hunter's best friend probably doesn't sound like me. That's something I would say. So I might change that to language that sounds more like me. So it's kind of a good jumping off point to start from. Has all the brand colors in here. I'm really, you know, impressed with the layout of that. This button, I think, should already be my contact page. Yep, /contact me. So that's going to go to my contact page without me even having to add that link in there. Got a home loan calculator. And you could add in more stuff in here. You could put like, let's say, I want to add in, let's go and see back with our widgets. Actually, there's a real satisfy widget. There will be, like I was telling you guys, a testimonial tree widget coming in. You know, you could have a related articles, anything that you want to put in here. So let's say I want to get more people going to my blog. Okay, so I'm going to put that right here. There's no options for it. So that's going to show don't miss our next post. Put your email address in. So they put in their email address. Then they're now, every time you post a blog, they're going to get your next blog. So this is the kind of like call to action if you are really growing your blog that you might want to put on all of your different pages. Okay. So you really can start from scratch like we started off with. You can start from a template and do whatever you want to do. So you can, you know, it's amazing. I mean, I'm telling you guys, like, don't get stressed because you don't have to do this, but you can really just do everything that you want with the website. You have your home search in here. I wanted to show you guys this custom search so that you guys, custom pages that, you know, you can really build whatever you want with it. What questions do you guys have about this after seeing this? I think I saw Kim with the mind blown. Hopefully that was a good mind blown. But yeah, you can really, yep. Any questions you guys have? Actually, so I'll show you something in here, and this is something I'm not too familiar with, but in here in the template section, under brand templates, if you guys have seen, coldwellbanker.com completely changed their homepage. It's really cool now. They have the move meter, all that kind of stuff. If you go here to module library, you click on that. We're gonna, let's see here. Yeah, let's replace existing layout. So do not publish this to your page. These are going to be modules that you can use on your page. So if you see here, you have the CB estimate here. So we're going to take, I'm going to take this section here, get in an instant home estimate. I'm going to take this section here, and I'm kind of winging it here because I have not done this. So I think you go here to, let's see, row settings. I'm trying to remember how to do this. And I'm going to save it as, so I went there, I'll go back here. I choose this whole row, or let's see, we have down here, we have like this, I'm trying to see what else, the move meter. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. So let's say we want to put the move meter on our page. So I'm going to go here to this little toolbar here, and I'm going to go down to save as, and I'm just going to call it J's move meter. And we're going to save it. Now I'm going to get out of this page. I'm going to discard this. I'm going back to a page that I've already created. So we're going to go back to admin home, getting out of this completely, going to a site page, going down to buying a home. So this is a page that I created, buying a home, and I'm going to edit that. And whenever you go to edit a page, it's going to ask you to launch the builder again. And we're going to try and add, let's see here. Yep. Okay. So I went to the plus in the top right, and I went over here. We went through modules before, templates. I'm going to go to saved, and now you see J's move meter. Okay. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag that. Let's see here. I think it needs to be a whole row. Okay. So now the move meter is set in here. Now I'm going to go and let's see here. Done. Publish. We're going to go look at my page live. Oh, I guess that's what we were, the live pages. Whoops. Let's go back to visit site. Buying a home. So now when a client lands on my buying a home page, they have the Coldwell Banker layout that I use there. Now the move meter is on here, and I'm really trying this live. I've never done this, but now we can see Fredericksburg, Virginia versus Seattle, Washington. Oops, can't spell. Calculate. And Coldwell Banker's move meter is now happening on our page live for the clients. And it's saying it's a big move from Fredericksburg, you know, and then it's kind of walking the clients through that. Pretty cool to be able to have this on your own page, being able to have that. So the overall move score is 75. I don't know what all that means right now, but I think that's really cool, a great feature that we have. And now you can have some of the great tools that we have through Coldwell Banker. They're not taking you away from the page. So they're not taking you over to Coldwell Banker's page, but this would be something awesome to put on your homepage, for example. So really powerful stuff. They're adding stuff constantly. This stuff just came out. That's the first time I've done that. So we just did that live, and it luckily worked for us. But that's really, really cool stuff that they're continuing to add in there. We're coming up towards the end of our time here. I'd see a quick question from Carol. Yeah, Carol, let me show you again how you get to MoxieWorks. It's no problem. So you're going to go to Desk. Desk is going to be your first login. I have just a bookmark saved for Desk, but mycbdesk.com. Your login would be your first name last name at coldwellbanker.com. And then MoxieWorks is going to be one of these tabs for you. And if it's not at the top like mine is, you can just click here and drag it around. And then you go to MoxieWorks. Once you shouldn't have to log in again. And then you are in MoxieWorks. You come to this dashboard, you have present, engage, my website, and then you go to my website. What other questions do you guys have? I know I just threw a lot at you. You guys all have a lot of homework now. But hopefully you guys are excited like I am. I mean, you have a full website that you can build. If you're not a website builder, or this is not exciting you, you still have just the basic website that I would say is like mandatory to have as an agent now. You need to be found online when people search for you. So if you don't want to do all this crazy add-on stuff, just go through here, make sure everything's accurate and up to date, your photo's correct, your bio's in here, all that type of stuff. And I will show real quickly, because I did talk to Jeffrey about I created my own bio page. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick, because it has a pretty good bio page that comes with it, but that's where you can't edit your bio. So I just created a My Story page, just like I was showing you guys with the custom pages. So if you go here to edit, it's very simple page. So I'm going into the custom pages and showing you. So I did a header, just like I showed you guys, where it said like, hello buyer, but I called that My Story. I put my profile photo, so which was just simply the plus sign. You go down here to photo and you drag that over. That was all you have to do with that. Cancel that. And then I did another text block, and then I put in my bio. And what I like about this is you can really go in and edit the fonts and, the bold or whatever, you can edit the layout. And then I put a simple contact me button. And this is another image that I put in that's my signature that I just kind of saved on my computer and then put that in there. So this was my bio page that I created as a workaround to not having to send my bio to Marilyn to have her update it. And I like the way it looks, in my opinion, better. But you can be really creative. You can make extra columns. You can do whatever you want with that. So hopefully that answers. I don't know if Jeffrey's still on, but question we talked about before. Cool. No problem, Lisa. I'm glad you got a lot out of it. Anything else, guys? Any question? There's no dumb questions. I'm a former teacher, so questions are good.
I have it. You may have said this, Jay, but those common tasks, we can pick and choose and move around what we do, right?
Yes, 100%. So when you're in here, you can go back and forth. You can do whatever you want. It's right now kind of just your to-do list for the website. So like, these are the things that you should go through. I think if you go through all of these and do a little bit of that, then you'll be ready to publish there in the end. Good question. Let's see here. Just reading this question. Oh, I think that was the same question. Carol, right? Yep, you can jump around. You can, if there's something you don't like or you don't want to edit, then just don't do that task. Exactly. But here's the key. Whenever you're messing around in here and doing that, always go back after you publish it and visit the site and see, after you make a change, what it looks like. That's what's going to be, if something looks wrong, like right now, like this local schools isn't built out for me, or I don't even know if it's something I want to keep in there. I want to make sure to go back in and delete that out. So just making sure that everything looks the way that you want it to look is the key. And you can see over here, this is actually, they just fixed this. The social media icons that wasn't showing up before are now showing up over here to the left. So those take you to my various social pages. So that's, and Marilyn updates those. So good questions. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
But I know where you are if I have them.
Yes, definitely. And several people are saying that you guys are gonna be watching the recording. That's awesome. And that's what I recommend. Like, go back, watch it. I talk about one thing, pause it. You work on that on your side, unpause, go to the next one. As you guys are working through it, if you're getting stuck, don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. I love to see when you guys are working on these things. I do think that it's going to benefit all of you guys, having this site and connecting with using this hand in hand with Moxie Engage. If you guys are logging into Moxie Engage every day, like we talked about last class, and Angelo brought up here that he's doing that, it is going to increase your business. I mean, ask your managers, ask Robin, ask Suzanne, staying in front of your sphere of influence, and then having a good hub, which is your website for people to land on and to be searching for homes, is going to start to, over time, increase your business, because you're out there more and people are seeing you active and doing things. But thank you guys so much for your time. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I will talk to you guys soon.